Hello. 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 Check. Hello, hello, hello. Oop. Forgot to put my headphones on. Excuse me. I ate my dinner too quick, so I'm just gonna take a sippy. But welcome in, Sophie, and welcome in, Nova. Yeah, I love the Fontaine Conquest. It's really good. I'm gonna be doing Furina story quest. Hello. I'm gonna be playing Furina story quest. Also finished a large chunk of the Archon quest. Ooh, peppers! What hotkey is that? Head patty. Ah, there we go. Thank you for head pat. Any longer, and you probably have to buy me booba. Same. But since I have a tickle in my throat, I can't have anything cold at the moment. Why is Paimon talking to me? The hill was annoying. Why is Paimon suddenly talking to me? Oh, it's the event. Oh, it's the event. Paimon, shush. I'm trying to I'm trying to do my logins. Oh, the technology experiment log? Oh. And I got some trials left to do. Yeah, I'm just logging in. Switch to the gameplay. No. Paimon is stinky? Loading, I'm loading up. I think this is like really close to the end of the Archon quest. Wow, my last Genshin stream was 5 hours long. I've been sick for the past couple of weeks.
Navia!
The only difference is I'm now medicated. Speaking of which, I should probably...
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
Hi, Charlotte.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too. Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies.
That's a name.
And is helping with our work. Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people. But we're moving forward.
Sad for Navia. She lost the 2 retainers.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats.
Cats? Aw, that's cute.
But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
Fair.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
Friendly neighbors, huh?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too.
I
How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clarence?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Furina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
Okay, fair enough.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callis.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god. There's lots of exciting material there, I bet.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Charlotte.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor, for Navia's sake?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or
Okay.
a traveler. It's better than
Okay,
wasting
let me
time
get out my
persuading
camera.
Chlorand at
With a
any
K.
rate.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up and smile.
Chief.
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cute in it?
Not
no
bad.
comment?
Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots.
We pick on Paimon a lot.
All right, that should do it.
Yeah.
I'll be back here later anyway, so
We
let's
pick
call
on
it a day.
Paimon a lot. I feel bad now.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might eventually get that interview with you after all, Miss Chlorand.
Wow, you really do have that never say die spirit. I'm impressed.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Meripede.
You already know where she was going?
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too. I asked Sijuin, who told Monsieur Nervillette, and he told you, right?
That's a very complete information
I
chain.
knew.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the fortress become so friendly towards the media? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Ridesley will make a personal appearance.
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move first.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting. I'll treat you to afternoon tea in exchange.
Ooh, yummy. The Fortress of Meripede. Okay. I really need to explore more. I've been working, so I haven't really been gaming. It's like, my work and study is becoming like extremely taxing. I am sad that I've stopped being a gamer. I'm gonna make up for lost times. That's basically why last week I streamed for 5 hours. I don't know how long I'm gonna stream now.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to this place.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Hello, Wesley.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our
The
good
fact that
head
he's a
nurse recommended to
cryocatalyst
me.
is...
It's an
wow.
honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to the fortress, sir.
No need to thank me.
Yep.
But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview. I trust you recall our agreement?
What agreement was that? Tell us, Charlotte.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
She... Oh, it's this
Hey,
dude.
no need to be so nervous. I've already taken all the photos we need. Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steambird?
It would seem that Miss Lorvine
journalistic?
doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier,
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this interview be very important to you then?
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Oh yeah,
Now,
you
I might
invented
not
that
look it,
flying
but
boat.
I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once, and I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more.
That was, the
He's
flying boat
definitely
was
got
a
more
nice
of that
touch.
genius vibe going on. The boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an emissary of legend. Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship now?
Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another exclusive scoop.
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot of it.
You should have got a shot
Really?
later.
Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for that loss?
Yep, she does definitely that.
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of thing before.
I shipped this too.
Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this new
Even though
drink
they
I
don't want to
came
be
up
shipped.
with?
Ah, Siegeween.
Yay.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, take some pretty photos of our head nurse? Sure. Come on, Miss Susie.
Okay.
Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
She's really adorable.
Sure. Do I have to smile? So,
Common
how have
sense.
things been at the fortress?
Well, technically, I don't really smile much in photos myself. I just like...
Same old,
Yeah,
same old, as you
that.
can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still more or less the same.
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurier? Miss Lorvine?
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that, which is a pity.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember, but his 3 young followers are still waiting for his return.
Oh.
He sure did
Child.
win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change for you too?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Furina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey everyone, the photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
Ooh, where
There'll
we going?
be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then. All right. Last stop, the docks.
The harbor. Back here. Here. There's a lot of stuff I need to do. I had a snack pack. I just had my dinner and it was a snack pack. Oh yeah, let me heal up this. Yeah, I was craving a snack pack, so yeah. Oh, there we go. Chicken.
The damned will sooner die again than lay a hand on me.
Yes, we know, Zhao. Yeah, the fun thing on Conquest has been great. Zhao's always edgy, but he's just a sweet little cinnamon roll inside. Especially for Lumine. And the Traveler in this case. If you play the male Traveler. Oh, it's the siblings.
They really are here! How did you know?
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these strange pockets the whole time since.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you.
Tell him I
Trick
said
a friend?
hi.
I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have
Me,
your contact,
a
please?
Lynette cousin?
Sure. Please, write down my address.
I think it kind of makes sense for
working hard
Lynn
to
to
help
cosplay
Femini
as Lynette,
socialize.
because, you know... Oh, and
He was the
Miwa
one who
should
proposed
cosplay
doing this.
Linny.
He even wants to assist in our
Oh my
magic
god,
shows.
Miwa, you should cosplay Linny as Lynn. If you're here, you should cosplay as Linny. Shut up.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater escape magic to him too.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part of our show eventually.
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she wants to take a picture of us.
Got it.
My,
No!
that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She
You
got
can
rid of
always do
everyone the
HSP
moment she
tonight.
realized I had something to say to you. So, how have things been, Traveler?
I'm doing alright.
Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
That's alright. We were more than happy to help. So, what's she doing now?
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. Well...
Well...
After Lady Furina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, there were actually a number of things going for it.
Okay, thanks for the hydrate,
It could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring Narwhal down.
Hopefully
Furthermore,
you have a good night,
Father
sleepy.
did also lend significant aid to Fontaine and Poisson.
I need that stretch.
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking about. Doesn't this seem a bit irresponsible?
I would agree, but I've also heard that it seems that Monsieur Neuvillette has had a significant change of heart regarding the matter.
Really now?
So there's some reason for this that only Neuvillette knows about?
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself.
Okie dokie.
Yes, speaking of which, I did see him strolling around the entrance to the Fortress of Meripede a while back.
Oh, okay.
Isn't he real busy and stuff? Paimon didn't think he'd have the time for that. But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right? What about Child?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
Well, no, I guess I can call it one of my war buddies.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Hi, Father. Hi, Daddy.
Father!
Well, well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the Traveler by chance. Please do not pay my
Amadeus,
accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind. I would have done them regardless.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers, yes. Don't be too preoccupied with
no
signs.
way.
The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done.
Will you keep to your position?
Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever?
Yeah.
As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners.
Yeah. Actually, I just remembered something. Please help us deliver this.
A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians. And our upcoming rookie talent. I will! The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Bye, Nave.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence.
Yeah, she's
I
fine.
didn't even dare to take a picture.
She's
Thankfully,
fine.
I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all. This'll be more than enough for me to write about, I'm
Capital
sure.
F.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right now. So many things have happened, but the pockets are still the pockets. I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friends. All right then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now. Have a good day, you two.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Nervalette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway.
Where would the new Nervalette be? He should be over... Oh, the upper abacus. Anyway, I wonder how is everyone doing? What has happened in a week since I last streamed? Oh, I'm missing 7. Okay. What is this? It's bugging me. Oh, right, okay. Ooh!
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there!
I would love to help out my artist friends and artist allies moving cons, but every single time
So, you really
I
are
ask,
here, Nervalette! Paimon
it's like,
didn't think you were
"Don't
going to
worry,
have
I
free
can
time
manage
this hour
myself
of the
type
day.
thing."
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when he passed this way. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had the time to before.
Oh yeah, sure, go ahead.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind, what with you being busy and all.
Con season is officially
Alright,
over,
let's have
I
it then.
believe.
How was Fontaine actually saved? The whole business is still quite the mystery to us.
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them out loud.
Okay, let's hear it and see it. First, let's see the heavenly principles.
Whoa. So that's what happened?
I only saw Furina's part myself.
Focalord destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians from dissolving.
For me,
The authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element.
Nice.
Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet.
Ooh.
In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Fossilor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Fossilor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too!
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
About the verdict passed on the child.
I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal.
Okay.
But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Fossilor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Fossilor had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans.
Yes.
Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah.
Yes, I
next to the
know.
fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
I'm gonna do her
In
story quest
truth,
after
even
this.
those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, it seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Fontaine's future.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Furina has already left. What's that all about?
Lady
Okay,
Furina.
good night.
The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs
Thank you
related
for
to that
that.
title to me, before leaving the Opera House. I related Fossilor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired and needed to rest. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the Opera House, not unlike how an ordinary person might.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not
Hopefully.
worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or travel.
Thank you, Nani.
In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time to heal. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Fossilor the Hydro Archon,
Hi,
she
Hill.
can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro Dragon?
After Fossilor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts by myself.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex, huh?
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say that both were granted to me. As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its highest judge. The duty of the Hydro Sovereign and the duty of the Udex shall coexist within my person. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay. Where are they getting their energy from?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
I see.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff is really quite useful, huh?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, didn't notice this.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something!
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis's power. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary conflict.
What complicated considerations? Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of gratitude to the knave and as an apology to Child.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Next up, Honey Jenny.
You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume.
Ah, the Nation of Fire.
I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
Ooh, dragons.
A nation of dragons? You mean like you?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with humanity. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that I believe may be useful to you. The Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
I see.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui Harbinger doing their thing.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan.
I'll be
In the meantime,
510, so.
Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
I have no more questions. Good sir.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about the
Paimon has a
Gnosis.
question.
When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly changed. We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you were aware of.
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly sharp. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something with you.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Oh, okay. I like Skirk. I like Skirk's design. She reminds me of a little Chilu. Just a little bit. I think it might be the hair.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all
But
right,
the thing is, that some people think she's the love child in Gonya.
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Ah, of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
Huh.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with humans. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling you. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts. And my reason for no longer wishing to return to the surface.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Painful hills.
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I?
Yes, you do.
He can be the messenger, then?
Yeah, you can send the child. You can send the child. After he recovers from his injuries, of course. Oh. Oh my goodness. Look, did technically Navia's on the banner next after Furina, so...
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is what she meant to say.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
I mean, we should
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it here.
The Archon's this. I reckon. I'm the fourth descender. What?
I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect you to be one of them. That means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element-compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from the third descender. I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision! That does sort of count as special compatibility, right? No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy.
A bit, yeah.
Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or go look for his master and get the answers that way.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
All right. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here in Fontaine's over for now.
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will.
Can you understand the will of the gods?
I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon all. And what, ultimately, is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us?
And that's Act 4. I should have probably attached that on to my last stream, but it was already 1 AM. So... I love this mechanic! Yeah, I'm not going to 1 AM again. I am... Yes, I know. Oh, it's a camera thingy.
Reduced to just standing around. How absurd.
Okay, let's do Furina's story quest. The Little Oceanid. And let me grab this. There we go. Time to see what Furina's story quest is about. I'll do Nobly and Wisely story quest some other time. Ooh! Well, it'll be a good surprise. Hi, Catherine!
Hey, Catherine! It's us! Got any new commissions? Specifically one with a huge more attack, perhaps?
You don't have to be so direct.
Taimon's just being enthusiastic. We're all friends now, she gets it.
It's always a pleasure to see our two most avid adventurers again. Looking for the next challenge, I see. Actually, we do in fact have a rather urgent commission that is still open. Having read the details, however, I don't believe you'd consider it to be lucrative.
Don't worry about that. We were just kidding. So what's the situation?
To put it simply, the requester is looking for a temporary replacement actress for their musical. The original cast member ran into some issues and is currently unable to perform the role. But the troupe has also been experiencing some financial difficulties, so unfortunately they cannot afford to pay the replacement actress.
That does sound like a tricky situation. So basically they're looking for a volunteer?
That's right. Our adventurers reached out to many actresses, but none of them were willing to take the job. There are only a few days left until the performance. If they can't find someone in time, they'll probably have to postpone the show. And delays tend to create all sorts of new problems.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, this one's a doozy. What do you think, Traveler? Any ideas? Even if we took the commission, neither of us have any experience starring in musicals.
Very true.
If you're interested in helping, why not start by having a chat with the requester? He's right over there. Maybe you can't fill the role yourselves, but you might be able to help him figure out another solution. Maybe there's something he hasn't thought of.
Oh, it's that guy, huh? No wonder, he looks like he just ate a sour lemon.
Got it.
Paimon approves, let's go!
Yeah.
Hello there, are you the guy looking for a new actress?
Wait, I know you two! Are you really willing to act in my musical?
Wow, sounds like we're pretty famous in Fontaine already. But to answer your question, neither of us have any experience in musicals. But we heard that you're in a bit of a bind, so we figured we could at least try to help you think of a solution.
Ah, I see. It's okay. I knew that asking for a volunteer was a long shot. If we can't find someone to step in, we'll have no choice but to cancel the show. It would be such a shame.
Can't you cover the budget for the new actors with ticket sales?
That's the thing. We're not some high-profile theater troupe, just a group of amateur enthusiasts.
Oh.
All our sets and props are very crude. We're grateful enough just to get an audience, never mind ticket fees. If we had a way to make this profitable, things might have turned out differently. But now, it looks inevitable that we'll disband.
Disband? You're splitting up the troupe?
No.
Oh, I guess the lady at the Adventurers Guild didn't tell you? Yeah, this is supposed to be our final show together as a troupe.
Oh, that's
One last show. And after that, we go our separate ways. So we were really hoping to end on a high note. Nobody wants things to just fizzle out. Not after all the time and effort we've invested into it.
Captain mentioned that one of your actors can't make it.
Yeah, the leading lady, in fact. She's been dealing with a chronic illness ever since childhood, and unfortunately, it flared up again recently. It really drains all her energy, so she's in no state to perform. The show just won't be the same without her. But for everyone else's sake, I still hope we can find a way to hold the performance on schedule.
Got it. We have a clearer picture now. Let's see if we can come up with any ideas. What if we sponsored the show? Traveler, how much more are you carrying?
Please, there's no need to go that far. I wouldn't feel right asking such a huge favor, and I can't promise that we'd ever be able to pay you back.
How do we find someone who's good fit for the role?
Good point. If the actress just goes through the motions for the Mora, that's not exactly rescuing the show. We should find someone who will put on the best performance possible. Oh, wait! What about... you know who?
You know who? I don't think you know who can sing.
That's how you know we're the best of partners. Anyway, she should have all the free time in the world right now.
Oh, Furina.
She's really good at performing, and she was once super popular with the crowd. Performing in a musical should be a piece of cake for her.
Who are you thinking of? Sounds like someone famous.
Furina.
Her? You're... That was a joke, right?
Yes, Furina.
Nope. Paimon doesn't actually know if she's performed on stage before, but Paimon's pretty confident that she'd be really good at it.
You're not wrong there. She has actually performed in a number of big-name shows before. They were one of the reasons she was so popular. But even if she's no longer the Hydro Archon, it's not like she's suddenly a commoner. She's still an idol to many people in Fontaine, including myself. I just think Lady Furina might feel a bit out of place in an amateur troupe like ours.
Are you prepared to do whatever it takes?
Well, yes, but... Fair enough. I mean, if she was actually willing to, then of course I'd be honored to have Lady Furina star in our show. I'm sure the rest of the troupe would be delighted too. I'm sure everyone in our troupe has probably dreamt of performing on stage with her one day. Of course, it all depends on whether she's interested. She might consider this opportunity beneath her.
No point in stressing about that. We'll only know if we ask her. Besides, things are different now. There's no reason for her to be all high and mighty anymore.
Let's go. I'll go check in on her anyway.
Thank you for your help. I guess I'll just stay here and wait for the good news. Good luck.
Wait, where does Furina actually live nowadays? She used to live in luxury at the Palais Mermonia, but she's, moved out, right?
As it happens, I have her current address here. I can provide it to you.
Woo! When did you get here?
I came over when things were starting to sound more promising. I thought I should be at the ready in case my assistance is needed. It is my duty to support commissioners in any way I can.
I would love to perform on
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I need to get a band together.
Now that we've got the address,
And if
let's
I
go
want to
find
do, I'll
Furina.
probably perform
Back
at a
in a
con. Where is the Furina? Oh, she's just over here.
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here? Not that there's anything wrong with this place, it's just, a bit of a step down from the Palais Marmonia.
You know, it's common courtesy to make sure the homeowner isn't an earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Okay, when did popping out of thin air become all the rage? First Catherine and now you?
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags.
Ooh, mac.
I used to have a much wider range of choices when it came to food. But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
Yeah.
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week, macaroni and bolognese the next.
Ooh.
Oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
Is it because you have to do all your own cooking now?
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity!
Yes,
it's not like I have a very eventful life these days. Actually, I barely leave the house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now, too.
Simple meals are the best.
I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre faucilor or blubber profiteroles in no time, if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace.
No.
Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time. So if you're just here to clown around, then please be on your way. Shoot!
Sorry! We're sorry! Please don't be mad!
What? Really? Paimon was just showing concern for your well-being.
Yeah, exactly! What the traveler said! Paimon wasn't trying to make fun of you. Hang on a sec, you weren't exactly holding back either.
My help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro Archon. I don't even have a vision, you know.
Don't worry, it's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude just now. So tell me, what specifically makes this matter so specific? Ah, I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense. After all, I was once the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well-versed in all the various performing arts. A mere musical is well within my capabilities. But given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully decline your casting request.
What?
How come? It sounds like this would be a breeze for you.
True, but I have made a decision to retire from the stage. Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left an indelible mark on me. Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
So that's how you really feel?
Paimon can understand, but this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's
Someone
okay.
could fill in for
Whether
when I'm
it's
sick.
a one-off or
At
not,
work, but
it's a
no.
boundary that I've committed to no longer cross.
I had to go in.
If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place. So I'm not going to perform, and that is that.
Fair enough.
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else you can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare.
Oh, have
Do
a
you know
good...
any other actors who might be
sleepy left.
interested in the
Have a
role?
good sleepy.
Nope.
Short and to the point, okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships. Besides, anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me. Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help.
You shouldn't assume the worst of people.
True, but I mean, could you even blame them? I show up out of the blue, begging and groveling for their help with a show they won't even get paid for? Oh, no way. I'm dying from embarrassment just thinking about it. Nope, not happening.
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the guy we're working for.
Have I not made myself clear? You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really. But if I thought I had the answer to this problem, I would have said so by now.
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, everyone in the troupe will be so disappointed.
Yeah. She was always nice, Nova. She had to play the role of a Hydro Archon, so she had to put on a character. So basically, she's been acting for 500 years. So, yeah, I kind of get why she doesn't want to act anymore. And she wants to retire from the stage.
Yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then. We'll see you around, Furina.
Toodaloo to you, too. I'm going home to take a rest now.
Alright, that's unfortunate. I feel bad for the guy.
It's too bad, but we have to respect Furina's decision. Maybe the thought of performing brings up too many painful memories now.
The Serenity part? Yeah, the Serenity part.
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did your conversation with Furina go?
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Yep.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then. Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
Only joking, calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now, huh? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you. So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance.
Yes,
We have to make sure it goes ahead.
My cough
Yes, I'm completely confident.
um,
I've been taking a new
at late
medication
night.
from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So the last thing I want is to be left out. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
Wait here a second.
Sure.
Oh, hi, Furina.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list.
Yeah, that's a mood.
All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me. Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation just now.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned, that's all. When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it went down. I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
Then why didn't you just show yourself?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you? I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our show?
There's no need to think like that, and no need to keep addressing me as Lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband? If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in this serial disappearances case.
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no sentence can bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and mentored each and every one of us. People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray. None of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly but surely falling apart. It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end and watch all our dreams turn to dust.
Oh.
Sorry about that. I was in the middle of a coughing fit there. Here we go.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. And then her life was so cruelly taken. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the Traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing.
Furina.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement anyway.
That was a little messy.
I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member. But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh, most definitely! We'll take any guidance that you can give.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
Yeah.
An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Huh. Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh? You just want to get back in on the action, don't you?
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
Ah, the name's not swine, it's Paimon!
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please excuse the size. It's a little on the smaller side.
I just need a moment. I shouldn't drink too much water.
Can we play Banker next time?
Where are we going exactly? I think it's... Is this one? No. Is it this one? I made a little mess. Right, I'll fix it later. Food? Yeah, food is good. I don't think it's here. It's in the other teleporter. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's in here. Okay. Oh, this is kind of cute.
Huh? Lady Furina?
What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello, all. Allow me to explain. As of today, Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The Little Oceanid in the role of artistic consultant. These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction.
What up?
You bet! That was the trial of the century!
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice. We can't thank you enough.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying The Little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Finding an actress was the least of your problems.
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front, trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the story's all about. The protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family. She longed to live just like any other human. And sure enough, she found friendship and even love. Everything seemed perfect. But one day, her true identity was exposed, and her world came crashing down around her.
No.
So far, so good. A classic tale. What happened after that?
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can bring this musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on which direction to take it in.
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than fiction. But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
Yeah, that's gonna be bad.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their emotional stake in this, not just our own. And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from two of our main actors.
Oh?
The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's passed, and we still haven't heard from him. The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard. Hasn't set foot in the city since. He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since. So we're not really sure what to make of that.
Huh. Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
What opportunity? What do you mean?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like a rallying cry for us.
Oh.
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us look up to you as a role model.
Oh, stop! You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Rally the troops?
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending. He went back to Poisson a few days ago, said that staying in a friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But I guess it's the opposite. A friend in need and all that.
Yeah, maybe he could use some company.
Poisson.
Oh, Furina. Is something up?
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. To Poisson!
I should probably claim my daily commissions. I made a bit of a mess when I went on my coughing fit. Oh boy. I'll tidy later. Yeah, it's super. It is super cute.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild.
I'll just subdue this one first.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Thank you for completing today's commissions. Here is your reward.
My goodness. This is annoying. I wasn't coughing this much at work.
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
All right. Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great news.
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of the script. I'll be out once I'm done.
Okay then. Looking forward to your masterpiece.
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree on it.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but sure enough, here you are. And Furina, too.
I was wondering if we might run into her.
So, you're here for Paolo? Looks like he could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are you?
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish there was something I could do.
Please, must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done. Which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe. To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina. It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all.
Too.
Like my father before me. Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Okay, Navia, got it.
Off we go then. Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
Aww, Furina. I also got a bug sting on my leg. Let me treat this.
I'm so grateful that Miss Navia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, I didn't know if I was ready to meet her. It's always easiest to just run away from your problems. But that never fixes anything. You can't get around the obstacles without facing them.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up Poisson.
Yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared of coming back here. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and accept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell people are watching me.
Go easy on
I'm sure
Furina,
some
guys.
people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment in their eyes. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
Maybe you taking on a bit too much in one go.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see. How would that make me any different from before?
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
They're not staying quiet either.
Probably time we made a move.
Yeah.
How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? We should have a view of the whole of Poisson from there.
This carpet's so annoying.
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll. And here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
It's okay.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You're only doing your duty.
Don't be so harsh on yourself.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst-case scenario thanks to the help of heroic individuals such as yourselves. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further use to people.
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Think of your freedom as your reward.
A reward?
Because now you can finally speak with your
I
heart.
guess so. And back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was. and exposing the secret I swore to protect. Believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart.
I think everyone thought
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same. I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands. All right, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the ending by now.
Sure. Okay, let's head back and check it out.
Down we go. I'm gonna fly down. Flying is faster. As quoted by Venti, gliding is faster.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips, you know?
Oh, thank you.
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food. Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Although, technically, fish and chips are great, but in moderation. Fish and chips are great, but in moderation, guys. Always eat anything in moderation.
Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
So, I kind of, since I overindulged in
You're
the
back.
snack pack, now
We've
I
been
feel
enjoying
really
Spina di
stuffed.
Rosula's VIP treatment in your stead. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard she's playing the Oceanid who turns into a human girl. What about you?
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Ouch.
Sorry.
Paimon!
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too, like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone that we realized how tough her job really was.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me anymore. I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness with various medicines. But whenever I had a bad flare-up, I'd be lying in an alleyway for days at a time.
So
it was like
you
that
had
until the
incurable
director
illness
found me
and your
one day.
parents, like,
She
nope,
told
get
me I
out of
had
the
a
house?
great voice
Wow.
and asked if I was interested in studying singing from her.
Some parents.
I said yes. She took me
Some
under her
parents.
wing, taught me to both sing and act, helped me find Mora for my meds, took care of me when my condition decided to flare up. I know it was all a huge burden on her.
She sounds like a really incredible person.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer, my parents weren't around when I was little, so I got sent to an orphanage. The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the son of a murderer." It was just to taunt me, though. I was an easy target, and they knew it. One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I lost all faith in humanity by that point. Thought the whole world was out to get me.
Let me guess. Fortunately, the next person you ran into was the director.
Yeah. For the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
Yeah.
The day you hoped would never come. How times change.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here. There's someone I need to introduce you to. This is our new artistic consultant, Miss Furina.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here!
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Now, where was I?
Script?
Yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script.
Okay.
I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she wants to become a human, against the wishes of her family. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, disaster strikes. The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid, plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic.
Sure, why not?
The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it and investigate the truth of the matter together. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land, as if driven by a consciousness of its own.
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's actually quite a few stories that explore this theme.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis.
But
her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed her secret. The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma of her life.
Oh, yummy.
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to save her lover, and the rest of humanity.
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them after that?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love, one that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
There's actually something else that bothers me. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible. What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
That
Hi, Cindy.
sounds like
Thank you for
too
the lucky.
cruel of an ending to me. and perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
A bit.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director O'Reilly's death, both arbitrary and meaningless. On the day when she went missing, Director O'Reilly had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city. We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to the city, she disappeared without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found. Increasingly, all the signs seemed to point to her being the latest victim in the serial disappearances case.
The director was the kindest soul in the world. Yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to do with her at all.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen? It almost seems as if she was moving you to safety.
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing. Villemont might know something, but he won't open up to me.
Villemont? The one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than me. Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with O'Reilly.
What? You kept that one quiet.
Yes, you did.
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she never considered us as potential romantic partners. Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. So I told her I'd always be there for the troupe, and I'd always be there for her. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required her constant attention, well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
Now I'm sad.
Paulo. So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by O'Reilly. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Villemont once and for all, face to face. We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks like it's time to go visit Villemont.
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes. Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Allons-y!
Allons-y indeed. Okay. The French terms go ver. Oh, hydrate? Okay, I'll take the sippy. I shouldn't really have too much water. Because, yeah. Just in case I cough it up. Got a lot of stuff to do. Where? Oh, where? I don't even have a teleporter there. I haven't even properly explored Sumeru. I need to properly explore Sumeru as well. I'm a little behind, yeah. Ooh, okay, I think I better activate this. Pick up the spells. Jumping. I do like my jumping.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
Ugh, as if this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour. Wait, why are you all looking at me? You're not seriously expecting me to fight, are you?
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen Furina in a fight before.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium. Miss Furina said so herself.
Precisely! And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway. As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a damsel in distress more than anything.
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
C'est la vie, c'est la vie.
C'est la vie indeed. Alas, I am forced to watch on helplessly as a more brave and seasoned adventurer than I swoops in to save the day.
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight mode Furina.
Fight mode Furina?
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Wait, I got it.
Swirl, Mark 2. Animo test 6308. Stand clear.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Oh, wow. More of them? Oh my goodness gracious.
Let's light it up! Huh?
Why you're jumping like that? That's a bad jump.
Evil conquering! Worthless!
You wanna jump? I'll jump too.
Worthless!
And probably get stuck.
Here!
live up to your reputation.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
Vilmont, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
Hi.
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit when we're on stage.
Vilmont, avoiding the truth will not help anyone. Unless you mean to suggest that Aurelie's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it? Mm-hmm.
Listen, Vilmont. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame. I never brought it up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show. The Little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelie on an emotional level.
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. Of course, that was nowhere near enough. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only when the merchant came to deliver the goods that I realized the drink in question was synth.
Isn't that the drink peddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
I remember it induces a state of euphoria, but also causes significant harm to the body.
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration. The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was astronomical. There was no way we'd be able to pay.
And then?
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that things must have reached a boiling point. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything.
Your mistake gave them a motive to kidnap and murder her.
Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't you tell us? What do you mean, you were afraid? This was a life-and-death situation. We could have saved her! How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him! You need to stay calm!
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered! She was the love of my life! And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show! How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back the director. What good is my apology now?
No,
I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Get out of my sight! Go! Get lost! I don't ever want to see your face again!
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down, both of you! Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the troupe? You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
You're right.
I ran out of tissues, goddammit.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much she loved you all, and how much she loved the troupe. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that rage in the world outside. That's how you should remember her. And that's what you should be celebrating. I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already? After everything she did for you?
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you hope to achieve by arguing with each other. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director Aurelie and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that, for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If she'd seen Paulo and Vilmont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, in that same stern voice.
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding person.
What you said, it really puts everything into perspective.
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but I ended up making it all about me and my self-pity.
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray. The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
It might actually be possible to find out more about her fate.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims.
Yeah.
If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
Okay.
You really think that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's true feelings.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back back to the rehearsal location for now and wait for our good news.
This guy was living in here? Oh, okay. I guess this was like his hangout place.
You want to review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case? But, that case has been closed for quite a while now. Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on. I'll have someone dig them out.
The magazines are cute.
So, this is all O'Reilly left behind. Just whatever she was carrying on her person and this tattered old notebook.
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too! Looks like they show where the different props should be placed on stage.
Let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped. Aha! I found something. To whoever discovers this diary. Let's see. Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on dissolving young women. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence proving Vacher's guilt.
Vacher took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims he had.
I guess O'Reilly must have written all of this down in the hope that her records would one day be of use to investigators. Wait, it cuts off.
Something up?
Her handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left. Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
Which is... Someone else was taken. That makes 6, or perhaps 7. Someone tried to escape yesterday, but was caught. She hasn't been seen since. Was that yesterday? Maybe not. It's... I've lost track of time. Sorry, I don't know if writing is in use on the phone. I can already see my fate approaching, which I was trying to be more is. The photos seeing me, I was retreat period. Have I truly protected them? Fever. It's giving my medicine. Oh, lyrics and musicals. Okay.
She was so terrified.
She wants a go get dissolved right in front of her.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop, but at the end of the day, she was only human. I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been. Wait. This part on the last page sounds strangely familiar.
Lyrics continue. If you... Aww.
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this still what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the Little Oceanid?
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
Oh, indeed.
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troupe would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love, and she truly deserved it. Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director O'Reilly's final thoughts.
Hmm. I think the pirate is asleep. I think a certain pirate is asleep.